All right, welcome to a special edition of Dan on Golf. We are live in Augusta, Georgia. We're just across the street from the golf course. It's Masters Tuesday.
Yeah.
There's a buzz in the air, as there always is. First major of the year. I'm joined by Alex Myers from Golf Digest. You've been on the show before.
Yeah.
One of the all-time segments with our fraud watch on Sam Snead.
That's right.
Fraud.
I crushed.
You buried a legend.
Buried a legend.
We got to do another one of those.
Well, he was
got another theory?
He was pitching some names on the fraud watch, and they were really spicy. And Ben Boscovich, editor-in-chief of Scratch. You guys are, if you're a fan of Dan on Golf, you're very familiar with Ben Boscovich. What a day, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
What a day.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch very much coverage, so I'm going to rely on you guys to fill me in on what the apps are.
I was locked in. My day got off to an interesting start. So I woke up. I got in really late last night, 3 a.m., and wanted to get there for Rory's press conference this morning. So rolled out of bed, got in the car, and I opened my email for my pass. Like to get you into the gate. And it says on the pass, like, you must print this and present it at the gate. But they always say that, like PGA Tour, passes, and you just show them your phone and they scan it. But your phone is
not
like
here.
a weapon of mass destruction
Yes.
here. So
not up in here.
You cannot bring it out. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I gotta stop and print this out somewhere. And I saw a CVS on my route, and I walked in, and I looked at the guy, and I said, "Do you have a printer?" And he said, "Kinda." And I said, "What does that mean?" And he said, "Well, we have a photo printer." I said, "Great." So I paid $4.50 to print it out on the prettiest piece of laminated paper you ever did see.
What did they say when you handed that in?
The woman said she had never seen that before. The woman said she had never seen that before. I wanted to keep it, but they took it from me. An inauspicious start. I did hear an Augusta National member in the press conference today use the word auspicious. He said an auspicious day, which I feel like that's one of those words you only ever hear when it's inauspicious.
Yeah, you only hear the in.
How was your day?
It was great. Yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of press conferences, a lot of excitement, I guess, because yesterday was just a total wash.
Yeah, were you out here yesterday?
I was not. I got here in the afternoon, but I saw the course was closed. I said, "What's the point?"
Yeah.
So didn't even get over here yesterday. But today,
I didn't hate seeing that.
Yeah, we were happy.
I was in
the
LA.
phone.
Yeah,
I
right.
was in
You were
transit.
not missing anything.
I didn't miss anything, but there was a lot today. We're gonna get right to it. So this is like Masters. The Masters Tuesday is like Super Bowl media day. All the big studs come in. We had Rory, we had Rahm, we had Bryson, Colin, Scotty Scheffler. So we're gonna watch some of the best bits and kind of talk about what we saw. So let's start with Mr. Rory McIlroy.
You obviously caught some heat too.
Chris Powers on the mic.
After doing that at Pinehurst, the conversation after situations like that sometimes is, in comparison to other professional athletes, golfers can be a little more sensitive. I'm wondering if you think that's a fair or unfair assessment.
Well, he's right. Not that I think he could have worded it a little bit better, but look, every other athlete, whether it be in the NBA, NFL, they're obligated to speak to you guys after a game. We're not. So, whether that's something that the PGA Tour looks to in terms of putting that into their rules and regulations, but as long as that's not the case, and we have that option to opt out whenever we want, expect guys to do that from time to time.
It is a little bit wild that it's not required.
Yeah, I agree. And he makes it's a good point. It's a fair, but we all remember Marshawn Lynch, right? What did he say?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm.
So, but while he's technically right, I still think it's kind of ridiculous, especially when did Justin Thomas send out that memo recently to the players?
Not long ago.
We should do more interviews. We should we should get our product out there. We should get our personalities out there. And I would think Rory would be on board with that. And I'm not saying maybe he is.
Well,
but
he has to back him up because he didn't at Pinehurst. He didn't say anything to media.
Good point. He
Yeah.
peeled out.
He peeled out.
faster.
And I get it. Like, you're in a bad mood, but you don't have to be in a good mood when you go and do the press conference. I remember Akshay Bhatia got beat last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, and he got up there and was like, "Sucks. I'm in a terrible mood.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about this at all." But I think just being up there and doing it is important. So I would expect that changes. I think I want to see how the PGA Tour uses this strategic sports group money and what ends up changing, because these guys have come in from other sports, and I would think that if they're looking at this with a critical eye and saying, "Wait a minute, a huge moment happens and the guy doesn't talk to the media,"
Right.
feels like a pretty easy one to change.
It's a big business move to have guys out there talking, making soundbite.
Especially like it's all clips. We live in like an age of
Yeah.
clips, and those clips go mega viral, and it's it develops the product.
And it's a huge. I got to say, one of the coolest things I've ever seen covering tournaments was the 2006 U.S. Open. Phil Mickelson loses the most gut wrenching at Winged Foot that you could ever lose.
I'm such an idiot.
And I'm such an idiot. He goes out there and talks, and like he's gotten so much credit and praise for that, as he should. He was moments before that. He was in the scorer's room. We could see him, and he's crying on like Amy's shoulder. And then he goes out there and talks to the media and gives great soundbite and people. And then he stuck around for the trophy presentation. I mean, that's amazing. That's one of the best. That's why when all this stuff comes up with Phil, I always think back to that and I think, man, that was an amazing moment from him. So it's a missed opportunity, really, if anything, for Colin. I know we're going to get to him in a bit.
Yeah, no, it was a missed opportunity, and he keeps digging in, which
Right.
we're going to get to that in a little bit. But Rory was good today. He's in very good spirits. Obviously playing fantastic golf. Got 2 wins already this year. They asked him, do you have any extra pressure this week? And he was quick to deflect that away. He's been coming to Augusta every year since 2015 with that question. So this is the 11th time,
Incredible.
I guess. You always got to add one.
Right.
15,
Yes,
25,
11.
plus 1. And it's been a thing every single year, and he's had chances, and it's got to feel like Groundhog Day every single year.
That vulnerability that you're talking about with Phil, like that's all we have left because these guys have their own platforms. They can say whatever they want. They don't need us to get their messaging out.
Right.
So like that impromptu vulnerability in the moment
Yeah.
is like the best story in sports that you can find. Like, come on, give us that, guys.
Right.
Yeah, because
give us that.
you don't ever talk to. It's not a natural. Like those emotions that you feel after a hard loss are not normal human emotions.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you
Right.
get broken up with.
Right.
But there's no microphone in your face when you get broken up with, or if you lose a very important.
I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have sent that text message.
Well, and look, Rory's usually great, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's usually very candid and everything else. Except for when he peeled away at Pinehurst. But yeah, it's one of those things where I just think it's a great opportunity for the players to show that they're, not sore losers or whatever. I mean,
humans.
right? They talk about growing the game. I mean, put up a good example for the kids.
Yeah, for the kids. It's all for the kids. All right, we're gonna move on to John Rahm. Rahm was in the interview room. Let's roll that clip.
Any party that's concerned about no solution in sight in terms of getting all the best together more often?
I mean, I think we all would like to see that, but as far as I could tell, and you guys could tell, that's not happening anytime soon. So I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about that, especially having a week like this one, right? I think all of our concerns should be on this week, and things outside of that, we can let ourselves think about outside this week.
I mean, he's been open about thinking that he was going to be the catalyst to a deal, right? I remember in December of 2023 when he went, it felt like the PGA Tour was in a rough spot. It was like one more person and they have to get this deal done. That was already 6 months after the framework agreement. We're coming up on 2 years since the framework agreement. And, all the murmurs are that it's not close, which is amazing to think about.
It was like 3 months ago. It was like, we're so close. It was
So
like,
close.
They made the deal.
Meeting at
Right.
the White House, all of that
Right.
stuff. But it's proving to be, and if you look back at like when there were competing leagues with the ABA and the NBA, and like it takes a long time. And this one I think is even more fraught than ever before because of all of the PR aspects to it, because of all the politics, and because of just the crazy. You're dealing with, on one side you have an old institution that has a solid business model. On the new side, you have an upstart that has basically an unlimited bankroll. They had pretty, good ratings for them in Miami, but it was still less than a third of a Brian Harmon snoozer.
Snoozer.
I was streaming during that. It was brutal.
It was
really hard. It never got close.
No.
It was like, and they weren't playing well.
And it wasn't a great leaderboard.
It wasn't a great leaderboard, and Harmon shot 3 over, and
Yeah.
it was, this was Liv's biggest event. So
Right.
Clearly they're losing a lot of money, but clearly they want this thing to keep continuing, and it sort of feels like, amazingly, we are just as far, if not further away, from a deal than we were, 20 months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. I give Rahm credit because he has talked about it, like you said, in the past, and he was kind of open and, even putting his ego out there, like you said, he was thinking he was going to be some catalyst. But I hate that deflection. I remember, I think it was Brooks was doing it a couple years ago when we get to the Masters and someone asks them, these guys.
It's about this week.
Right, it's about this week. And it's like, yeah, but you're not. It's not like you're answering questions. This is our chance to ask you, and it's Doug Ferguson asking him, like the most straight shooter there is, and yet he's still deflecting and not wanting to talk about it. It's like, just give us an answer, you know?
I don't know how you take this storyline seriously anymore if you're a fan or if you're one of us trying to cover this. Like,
I don't even ask about it anymore.
Yeah, at what point are they going to say something that makes us actually say, like, oh, that's real? That's a real episode?
No, that's a good point.
Well, in the beginning, it was really spicy because there was, like, emotions involved, and the guys on the PGA Tour were bitter, and the guys on LIV felt like they had been, shut out. So there was... But, yeah, for the last... Really, since the framework agreement, it's like... this is either going to happen or it's not.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it a lot on this show, but the biggest thing I think for LIV is some of the contracts starting to come up, and the way Brooks is talking. It was really interesting the way Bryson talked. We're building this. I love where we're at. Brooks is like, they're making progress.
No, Brooks goes, we thought it'd be further along after 4 years.
No, but
it's unbelievable.
Rahm's got a little extra, I think, to prove this week.
For sure.
A bit of a lost year in the majors last year. I think he finished 45th here at the Masters, missed the cut at Valhalla, didn't get to play at the U.S. Open because of a toe situation.
Thing, weird, gnarly.
There's got to be a photo
toe.
of that going around that I haven't seen. I don't know if I
don't want to see it.
And then he did finish in the top 10 of the Open Championship, but never really had a chance to win. So, Rahm's got a little extra this week.
We really did think that move was going to be like the big
it was
stuff, right?
It was it. That was it.
Like you said, the tour.
There was like talk about whether he was ever going to play like a LIV event or if it was all just going to merge
if he would
right
even
away.
make it there,
It was like, it felt like it was that close. All right, let's move on to another LIV player, Mr. Bryson DeChambeau. Hey, Bryson.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of players playing at a super high standard and then changing a lot, whether it's swing or clubs. The most famous example being Tiger after 2000, changing his golf swing. Knowing that you like to go down rabbit holes by nature, how do you balance that drive to want to improve without maybe chasing perfection?
Yeah, it's optimization. I think I'm looking at it in a much different lens than I have in the past, where I'm tinkering, trying to find the ends of the parameters and go one extreme to the next extreme. I'm actually starting to kind of hone in on my true nature of what works best for me and then optimize my equipment around that. That's kind of my strategy now. I've tried a bunch of stuff. I tried getting really strong, really big, really quickly. Backtracked off of that. I was super thin in college. Tried swinging a bunch of different ways, but I found kind of what naturally works for me. And now it's just a mechanism of how do I optimize all the variables a little bit better and just continue to work on those small parameters, because I want to be the best that I possibly can be for myself. And so what better way than just to continue to optimize? And that's what I'm focused on now. Now we have machinery that can help get us to the micron level of precision. And then we've got robots that can test at higher speeds. And for me, it's just going to be information gathering and how to optimize my equipment to where I can perform the best. And then after that, let's just keep playing and having fun and competing.
Optimize.
Is that the most soft-spoken we've ever heard?
He was in hushed tones all day.
Wow. It's the opposite of him on the range crushing balls a couple years ago.
Optimization. I think that's what I'm going to just start saying whenever anyone has a question. That. It's just all about optimization.
That's all life's about, constant optimization.
And we have stuff at the micron level. I don't know. Is that a scientific term, the micron level?
And he kept saying parameters. I think he was meaning like margins.
Yeah.
Like
maybe.
I love him though.
Yeah.
I love listening to him.
It's like him and Victor are 1 and 2 because Victor's saying some crazy stuff now, talking about aliens and Eminem and everything like that. So the two of them are both pretty fun to listen to at the microphone. I'm excited to watch him this week, man. He's a content machine. You know if he plays well, people are going to be stoked. You know if he plays poorly, people are going to be stoked. Just to care. I think we forget how much LIV took characters.
Yeah.
More so than just players in the world rankings, but they took Brooks and they took Bubba and they took
like
Bryson.
Bullies and villains.
They took a little bit of the edge away from the PGA Tour. So I thought that was interesting. All right. Colin Morikawa. This is Chris Powers was asking this question to everybody about our golfers soft, basically. Yeah. And Colin had a very interesting response. Let's roll that clip.
Sorry in advance for bringing up a little bit of a sore subject, but your comments at the players on, you don't know the media, anything, got a lot of attention, a lot of criticism that you seemed upset by. The conversation around that whole situation was, professional golfers in comparison to other athletes from other sports
how to know this was
soft or sensitive when dealing with criticism. Do you think that's a fair or unfair assessment?
It's an interesting way to put that question. I'll answer it in a few pieces. So one, I was not upset by it. I think everyone took it in a wrong direction. You know, I said it in my second media thing. I could have said it differently, but I stand by what I said, right? You know, like I was in the moment. You know, we talk about giving people space to be who they are. And at that time, it was for me to be who I was, and I didn't want to be around anyone. I didn't even want to be around my wife. Like I said hi to her after, we hugged, and I just went straight to the locker room, right? So, in that aspect, I'm not, I think there needs to be a balance and an ebb and flow between everything.
Where's he going?
I do want to be here for you guys, but here's the thing: I've been in the top 5 in the world before, and people don't come up to me and ask me questions. So if you guys, you can't just ask me when I'm playing well. Like, you guys should be asking the top 10 players every single week, every single day.
This is the best.
And just document it.
Just document it.
Then you get a sense of who we are, and you get a flow of how that comes to be, right? But if you're only asking me, look, I've been in the top 5 for however long, in my career. I mean, there's plenty of times where media doesn't ask me. So
he wants more
there's
media.
A balance, right?
Sure.
If you guys don't want to ask me, then it's not my job to go out and tell you my story. Sometimes it is, right? But you do that through social media.
It's a roller coaster.
You do that through playing well, winning tournaments.
You can't figure out this defense.
But not everyone's like that. So that's what I don't get. This whole, So I stand by what I said.
Do you read comments on social media at all?
I mean, I browse, but I don't live and die by them.
I like Colin a lot. I want to start this off by saying that. I've known him
You do.
I've
I
known
know
him,
you do.
I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
This is clearly when someone just won't back down.
Yep.
He's in the hole.
He's in the hole. He's dug in.
Yep.
He's had like 4 chances now to
Yeah.
just be like, I was heated. I didn't mean it that way. I'm always happy to answer questions, but
I just didn't want to. I just didn't feel like it, guys.
But it's that was such a meandering roller coaster where he said, I've been in the top 5 in the world. You guys don't ask me questions. Then you only ask me when I'm playing well. But the whole thing that we're talking about is when you didn't play well.
Right.
And it's not my job to tell you my story, but sometimes it is.
Yeah. And then he caught himself in that. I just think he's dug in. I think that's kind of who he is by nature. I think he's got a serious edge to him. And I think this whole thing is like a bit of me against the world. I think he might win the tournament.
Does that put him in a green jacket?
I think he might win the tournament.
He's my
this
pick
week.
to win the tournament,
Mine
by the way.
too.
But that was before I heard this answer. Not that that's going to change anything for me, but it was the most rambling, nonsensical answer that I could ever remember.
Ever.
And just the digging it over and over again. I mean, he did it twice at the Players, right? I couldn't believe it. The way he went on and backtracked and this and that. If he was, on the stand as a defendant, of a murder trial, guilty.
He was cross-examining himself.
Yeah, he looked so guilty the way he's going back and forth. So I couldn't believe it. I had my hands in the air like as I was listening it. I could not believe this was happening.
Yeah, it was not his best answer.
No.
It really is Super Bowl media day. We're getting great sound.
Yeah.
No, 100%. 100%. All right, we're going to go to our last one here. This one's a little somber. Max Homa talking about the breakup with Joe Griner. Let's roll it.
You and Joe are obviously close, and you would talk all the time about how much he did for you to help you get where you got. How hard was it to part with
Where
him?
you got.
Yeah, I mean, it was not my choice, so it sucked. But we always had a deal that we're friends first, and friendship mattered more than the work thing. And he was wise enough to do what he did. It's hard. I'm just so used to him caddying, and even just on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, like you just have this easy rhythm. But I was happy that he did it because I would rather, at the end of my days, we continue to be great friends than one of us start to resent the other for, how hard this game can be on a relationship. So it sucks because, I just pictured always walking fairways with Joe. But again, that was not the deal. I'd rather walk life with Joe forever than this, dumb game. So it's been hard to process, but also good in a way because friendship does matter more than any of this stuff.
Swing changes are taking a long time. I'm sure
It's a little bit sad, but we have to give him credit because he could have not done media.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was just going to say. Like, that is a tough question.
Yeah.
And obviously there's more to this story, and we've heard different things and whatever, and not that he would get into that, but he could have just been like, yeah, it's tough and, or whatever. Like, look at the time he put into that and gave like a thoughtful answer, a sweet answer. So I like that. Yeah.
That's why, I mean, having your best friend as your caddy, it's probably the greatest thing in the world when it's working out.
Yes.
And then when it doesn't, it's a really tough situation.
I wonder what the situation is when Joe makes a decision that he's like, the friendship thing is in jeopardy right now. Like, is it because of the downturn that he's had?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when the golfer is playing bad, it's like his whole world is collapsing. And Matt, you know how deeply Max feels things, and you're searching for stuff, and you're frustrated. You're just in a bad mood.
Yeah,
you're just in a bad mood on the golf course.
That was so well said.
That was so
emotionally well said.
Yeah.
Like that's the vulnerability.
Exactly, and that's why people love him because he does give answers like that. By the way, the question that you kept asking, I kept thinking of Homa because of all the changes he's made. So like, the last thing he needs probably is the caddy change as well, on top of the coach.
This one at least wasn't his decision.
Exactly, but it just he's had a tough run as well.
Well, it's also difficult because he's seen the depths. Like, this is not the first time that he's had a really terrible run like this. So I can only imagine what's going through his head.
Yeah.
Good news though for Max Homa, he just announced baby number 2 on the way.
Oh, okay.
Ian Lacey.
Really?
While we've been
breaking news.
Wow, breaking baby news.
So
more change.
More change.
Poor guy. No.
New humans. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Alex.
man.
We're gonna bring on our next guest now. We're gonna bring on Juju Chan. You want to come over here, Juju?
Come through.
Girlfriend of Sahith Thigala. Social media influencer. Sensation. Want to throw the headset on.
And soon to be par 3.
Soon to be Masters par 3 participant. Okay. So we've talked and stuff off camera. I know you. Tell us how you and Sahith met. Well, not met and then also first started dating.
Yeah, we met in college. So I played swimming at Pepperdine, and then we had the same major. So we had like all of the same classes starting freshman year. So we were friends, and then we became like better friends because we got paired up in a class sophomore year, just the two of us as like journal buddies. We had to meet up every week and like do journal prompts. So that's how him and I became like good friends. And then basically we like on and off liked each other throughout college, but at different times, and like neither of us really knew.
Were you into golf at all at this point? No.
Knew nothing. I knew Tiger Woods. That's the only name I knew. I didn't even know Arnold Palmer was a golfer. That was
thought it was a drink.
No, I literally was like, it's a drink.
Yeah.
So nothing ever happened, and then I went to grad school at Pepperdine, and he was taking a 5th year, so all of our friends were gone, and we like hung out more. And then when we were graduating, he was like, "I'm gonna go pro, like come to a tournament."
Did you know how good he? I mean, 'cause he was a stud in college.
No idea. I'm like, I don't.
He won like every award in college.
Really?
Yeah. And then the team, they got screwed with COVID. Their team.
Oh.
They were like the best team in the country, and there was no season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they won the Natty the next year, and he wasn't on the team. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's okay. So he never followed, like he would invite me to tournaments and text me and be like, "Hey, come to this one." I'm like, "I'm down, I'm there." And then he would ghost me for like multiple, it happened like at least twice.
That's game.
Yeah.
That's called game. No, that's called game.
Yeah, he was
keeping
like,
you guessing.
Yeah, he's like, do I know you? So, but then 2.5 years ago now at the Fortnite Championship, I was living in San Francisco, and he was like, "Come, I'm gonna get you a spouse badge." And I was like, "Say less, I will be there." So I went, and I went like Friday through Sunday, and Saturday he was like, "Do you want to get dinner, just me and you?" Which like I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "Yeah, for sure," like as friends. I was like dropping hints the whole dinner. I'm like, "Dude, like you're so cute."
Yeah.
And then
what are we?
Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, I always wanted to ask you out in college," and then he didn't. And then I was like, "Oh, it's not too late," and he didn't ask me out. So I was like, "Okay, cool." And then the next day, Sunday, after he finished his round, I was like, "So do you want to go out with me like in a couple days?"
You pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So that's a very interesting meet cute. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Because it was almost like elementary school. He asked you to go out. What does that entail?
Well, I asked him.
But what does that mean when they say like, "Do you want to go out?" Like,
Yeah.
does that mean like, "Can I kiss you?" Basically, like, what? You know what I'm saying?
It means like, are we BFGF?
Yeah, no, I was like, "Do you want to go on a date?" I said, I said, "Can I take you on a date?"
Got it.
And he was like, "Okay." So he stayed in NorCal for a couple days longer. We went to like a cute sushi spot in San Francisco, and he went to the bathroom. I paid for the bill. Yeah.
Sick.
Flex.
That's queen shit right there. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and then we just talked like every single day after that for like hours and hours.
But then you were living in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So how did that work?
I work so from when I graduated college, grad school, I graduated in COVID. So
What did you do grad school?
I got a master's in dispute resolution, which is like law.
Yeah,
But
my wife's a lawyer.
yeah, wow, that's a slay.
Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I only have a master's.
Dispute resolution is a cool
Yeah,
phrase.
it's like arbitration.
I would say that's good
mediation.
for a relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
I
know
don't
how
use
to.
it.
You
no.
don't use it. Okay, fair enough.
That's kind of you.
Seth is
'Cause
more.
you'd win
of-
them all.
Yeah, no, he's the mediator, I would say, in our relationship. But I was flexible because I was always remote, so I was able to like go visit him. He did come out and visit me a few times, like every few months. He would make the trip out when he had like an off weekend. But yeah, I would basically just go meet him wherever he was.
But you recently stopped working full time.
Yes, like a month ago.
Is that like when you first started making videos and stuff?
Yeah.
Was that the goal, or you were just like?
No, I wouldn't say that was the goal. I was always like, if anything ever happened, that would be awesome because I feel like I'm made for the camera. But
You love it.
I do. I love
Yeah.
it. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I switched to part-time about a year ago. So I was still doing like both. I was making money on social media and then I was doing part-time stuff. And then, like a month ago, I finally just switched to all social media.
Must feel great.
Crazy.
You're free.
I love it. It's so fun. Like I just feel like it doesn't even feel like a job to me. It just feels like I get to like have fun and post little silly videos.
What do they say when you do what you love?
When you do what you love,
Exactly.
you never work a day. Okay, so tomorrow's a big day for you.
Oh my God, the biggest day.
Tomorrow's a really big day.
Yeah.
For you. So it's the Masters Par 3 contest. Last year, you did okay. No?
Yeah, I did mediocre.
You did mediocre.
Yeah.
You've been practicing a little bit.
A little bit.
How are we feeling going into tomorrow?
I feel like my confidence is up from last year, but my practice is down. So I feel like I'm just
Okay.
hyping myself up. I'm like, I'm going to make a hole-in-one. I'm telling everyone on the internet I'm making a hole-in-one. But we'll see.
Do you know
What
like
practice look like for you? Like what are you working on specifically?
Making contact. I
Yeah.
think just like regularly because when I go out and practice with Seth, like he tries his best to like teach me, but I don't think like people who are really good at golf are good at teaching it.
Yeah.
Or any sport. That's not just golf. But I'm just trying to be consistent because I'm like chunking a lot or topping it. Like I get scared after I start chunking it a lot. So just making good contact. So I'll like go on the range and then for like, I don't know, 30 minutes and then we'll go out onto like a par 3 course.
I'm a bad golfer, so
Yeah.
maybe it makes me a good teacher. I would say just tee it up a little bit more. I mean,
Yeah,
people don't do that on par
for
3s
sure.
enough, you know?
No, that's what he told me to do last year, and I made contact first try. That's all I wanted to do. So I'm definitely gonna tee it up. I brought my own club, also.
Were you using his last year?
No, he told me to bring my own last year, so I did bring my own.
Is it just
but-
one club that you need for the whole thing?
I mean, you only get one shot. So
Oh.
just
And it's
that
all
one.
over water.
It's all over water.
I feel like that feels a little bit cruel and unusual.
It is.
That's why I got teed up a little bit.
I know. Really high.
How is Sahith at regulating his emotions, like not letting the result of the golf course impact his mood?
It's always going to impact your mood a little bit, but I think that he's like a quiet person, so he's never like, I always tell people like the emotional side of him, he's not really like that off golf. It's only like he like gets angry in golf. He doesn't get angry really outside of golf. So when we get home, if he's like plays poorly, he just like is a little quiet and he's just like, I just need some alone time. But he's fine. Yeah, he's honestly good.
That's good. He's pretty elastic on it.
Yeah.
He comes right
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, well, he comes off as just the nicest person
He is.
that's ever lived. So it's all real.
It's 100% real.
That's awesome. So do you guys, you guys travel so much and you see the same people all the time. Is there like a community that you guys is there like a traveling squad?
I would say like it took a little while for me to feel like I had a lot of friends, and I think Seth's probably the same. I think now we've been out here for a few years, like we feel a lot more comfortable with like our people, but I definitely think you gravitate towards people who are similar to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are on the younger side still. And there's like
I don't feel that way.
Are there some like couples that are like a little bit intimidating? That are like
Oh, 100. You know the ones. Yeah, there
yeah.
for sure.
I feel like Rory and Erica McElroy. It's like they walk into a room, it's like okay.
I have not even seen her in person, so.
But he Sahith
yeah.
played on the President's Cup, so you must have gotten like to know a bunch of people through that.
100% that helps, and like some of the girls or couples in general that you would think would be intimidating, like really weren't once you were in that setting. But yeah, there's a lot.
Have you ever
there.
met Jessica Hadwin, our columnist?
I am pretty sure I have. Yeah. Oh no, they weren't. Yeah, but
She's
yeah, I have
awesome.
met her.
Seek her
And
out. She's a great friend to have.
Yeah, and on Twitter, she's hilarious.
Catherine Fitzpatrick.
She's amazing.
Lovely.
She's so nice. Yeah.
Claudia, Nico's I feel like I'm the same age as these people, so
Yeah.
those are sort of my squad as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually playing with Claudia tomorrow. It's me, Claudia, and Presley.
Oh, sick. Oh,
I don't know the boys, but that's just
so that's Nico, Akshay, and Sahib.
Yeah.
You and Presley do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
together. That's your kind of your best friend out here.
Yeah, we live like 3 blocks away from each other now, so.
Oh yeah, how's Florida?
It's amazing. I mean, we were living in Houston. I don't know if you guys have ever been, but
Big and flat.
it's hot. There's not, personally, for me, like I didn't have any ties there. I had no friends there. I had no family there. Like, so I've had a few golf friends, but they're not really playing golf anymore. So we didn't really have any community there. There's almost no pros there.
Yeah.
Florida has been amazing. I love tropical weather, so tropical beach, preferably. And then also having a community has been so fun.
What's this week like at the house? Like, are the vibes normal? Does it feel like a normal week on your end, or is there a little extra?
Like a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
I would say like every week, this feels special, obviously. Like every major feels a little bit more intense, but I feel like when we're home, we do a good job of trying to remove ourselves from that and like remember just like, it's okay, like good vibes. Yeah.
Do you guys have routines that you're getting into for like, or I guess majors, like versus a regular tournament? Do you like, when you say it's a little bit more serious, is there like different things that you do or don't do? When
I think that one thing is we always stay in houses during majors. Like we don't do the hotel thing. We usually have his team stay with us too, so they can like be on it when in terms of like working out, getting physical therapy, all that stuff. And then he's like tells me that we need to leave at 6:30 when really we need to leave at 7, so that I'm on time and we get to the course on time.
So you don't go. You go with him every time.
Almost every time, yeah. It's just because convenience-wise, like if we only have one car, now that we have our dog more often, I'll drop him off and then go back and hang out with her for a little bit. But for the most part, I go with him. I also like to have breakfast with him. Like we don't get a lot of time together when it's in a tournament day, so yeah.
How are the vibes going into this week?
Great. I think the vibes are great, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like he loves it here, so.
I remember his first Masters was electric.
What did he?
He chipped in. Basically the tiger chip on 16.
Oh yeah.
I think he finished 9th or he finished 10th or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's got some good history here.
Yeah.
What else is on your agenda this week? Other than watching the golf?
Post silly little TikToks, obviously.
Gotcha.
Merch.
Yeah.
Did you buy anything yet?
Yeah, I did. I'm not really like a merch person, but I feel like I should be getting stuff here. So I get stuff for like
For
other
friends
people.
and stuff, yeah.
And I always get myself a hat, and then I don't know. I saw a little teddy bear. I got myself a teddy bear.
Teddy bear's a good move.
Yeah.
No gnomes by the time you get it. Or do you get there in time that you can actually get
I
a gnome if you
don't
want?
do that. So that's actually funny because I know that that's like a big thing, and apparently they do save 2 gnomes for every player.
Okay.
So the last 2 years I didn't get them because I'm like, who needs a gnome? Like, where are we even gonna put these? And then we're in the pro shop and I'm like shopping around, and Saad comes in and Min was like, you got to get a gnome to Saad. And Saad's like, oh, really? And Min was like, you have to get a gnome. So he's like, okay, we're getting gnomes. So we started our gnome collection this year. We have 2 of them. Yeah.
It's not just, it's an asset. It's not just a,
it's a
no,
thing.
literally, you could sell it for like 20 times the price.
I think I saw some like 10 grand price tags on eBay when I was looking earlier.
Crazy.
How'd you feel about him calling that penalty on himself and costing himself $3 million when no one saw it?
I feel good about it. I feel like you have to, right? Like, in the moment, we had no idea what was going on. Like, we were like, why did his score just move down 2 shots? Like, we didn't see it. Like, nobody saw it. But then he went on a run, and I feel like it's just good
Karma.
juju, good vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, good juju.
Yeah.
Good juju.
Hey,
I bring that for him.
has he maintained to this day like it was the right call?
Yeah, 100%.
No regrets. No
Yeah,
regrets.
I feel like it was, a net positive for him in the karmic
Yeah.
world. I think it was a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, we don't want to keep you too long. Thank you so much for joining
Of course.
us.
Thanks for
you
coming.
A little
having
peek,
me.
a little peek behind the curtain.
Of course.
It's nice to get all sides of the Masters.
And good luck tomorrow.
Good luck
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Really
Yeah, I'm
excited
really
for it.
rooting.
Yeah.
Are you gonna like do some breathing exercise? How are you gonna stay calm?
Oh my God, I really don't know. I think I'll feel better about the fact that I have Presley and Claudia. Last year we were with Tony and John Rahm, so it was like a little bit more stressful for me.
Intimidation.
Yeah, so nice, so awesome, but yeah, I'm excited to do it with my friends.
One more question. Do you have a pre-shot routine?
No.
Ball on tee.
Yeah.
Have a
I mean, I
whack.
tried to do a couple practice shots last year, so I'll try to do that.
Maybe if you make a silly little TikTok out of your shot. then,
Yeah.
like, that's probably a pre-shot.
Just dance right before I
Yeah.
Is it hard for you not with no phones this week?
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm like itching.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Oh yeah. I guess you can't even,
No, it's
even make
I
a silly little
know.
TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, you can record, so Seth can take one video of me, they say,
Oh, nice.
while I'm like doing my shot, but that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna watch very
Thank you.
intently tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Juju.
All right, thanks, Juju. All right, time for our next guest. We're gonna bring on Mr. Rick Gaiman.
Rick, he just went me.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, you man.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya, Juju.
Thanks so much. All right, Rick.
What's up, boys?
How we doing?
I'm good.
I saw you post some pictures today. You're really excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here.
It's not your first time.
It's my second time.
It's your second
which,
time.
Which is really, like, last year I didn't know what to expect. I was
Last year was
thinking
your
at
first
everything,
time.
but now I feel like a pro.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know where stuff's at. I was chirping some rookies around. Like, I feel like I know just enough to be dangerous now. So I'm very excited.
There's a couple guys who are at every single tournament, and they watch guys, and then they like sort of have that inform their betting analysis.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like they all flush it. Do you, when you like watch, do you say, oh, this guy's doing that, this guy's doing that, or do you just kind of let the stats from the actual tournaments themselves?
So I won't get anybody in trouble, but I've had players say, like, if I could bet on this, I would rake because I can see it all.
Really?
Huh.
Yes. Because you can tell who's in the struggle. I mean, this year they're showing every shot from the range.
That's what I was going to ask you. You analyzing all that?
So like Max Home hit like 220 shots today.
246.
246.
He hit 246
He's grinding.
golf balls
I mean,
today.
and we know what the form has been.
That's
coming
like
in.
because what you strike how many like 40 shots around roughly because there's 30
'Cause you're
putts.
putting.
So that's like
Multiple rounds worth.
eight
8
rounds,
rounds.
Yeah.
7 rounds of golf that he hit on
Does
the
that-
driving range.
Does
today.
that scream confidence?
No.
Okay.
No.
So there's a lot of
That's
that.
actually really interesting. That might impact like if they started doing that at every single tournament. That's another data point.
Yeah.
So I agree that, like, for the most part, if you just watch for 5 minutes, everything looks like it's being flushed. But you start to see body languages, how long they're grinding in specific areas of the practice range. There are definitely, like, if you had enough eyeballs for every single golfer out there, you would definitely know a lot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
How are you feeling about your pick, Xander?
I feel pretty good. He feels pretty good.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better. He's kind of a hard read, though. I don't know if he's always like a reliable narrator of the
No,
state
he
of
likes
this game.
to kind of
Yeah.
send some messages you don't know that are 100% honest.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But even removing all of that, I love the way he's trending, love the value. We talked about that yesterday. It's like, if you just ask me to pick a golfer to win, like Scottie Scheffler's probably going to win this golf tournament.
Yeah.
But like the way that Xander's coming in and he's a little undervalued, I saw him like 22 to 1. Like, that's craziness. He's been like an absolute dominant.
I mean,
major
he won
championship
half of
player.
them last year.
Won half of them last year and has been inside the top 10 in half of all of his major.
Scotty took the podium with a stuffy nose today. It would be a flu game.
Scotty, so he did have a stuffy nose, but he also said that it's the most prepared he's been for a tournament this year. That he feels like his game is in terrific shape. I mean, he did slice his hand open, so it's it's not
That does
super
make
high
sense,
bar,
yeah.
but he definitely portrayed
Yeah.
a confident figure up there. All right, we're gonna do a little segment called random number generator, random player generator. So basically, I had this list where I went through everybody 1 through 96. We're gonna use this as a way to sort of preview a selection of players.
Okay.
We're gonna have Ben do one player from every decade, starting with 90 to 96.
Yep.
And we're gonna end up highlighting, I think, 10 players. So let's start. You got 90 to 96. Who you got?
91 is the
91 is Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson actually made the cut last week.
Zach Johnson's been playing well.
Has he been playing well?
Yeah, like sneaky well, right? He'll get himself in the mix a little bit. He'll fade, but he is, believe it or not, he went through like obviously the Ryder Cup stuff, and I think his game took a hit after that. But
I think everything took a hit.
yes, but he has been playing a lot better golf now. Again, it's relative to himself, so he's kind of outperforming the last couple of years. And this is a golf course where magic can happen. You know how to play it. Things get around.
He could make the cut. He could definitely make the cut.
Right.
He won at 1 over pars the last time
Yeah.
someone won the tournament at 1 over. He's 49. I feel like he's about to make a run on the Champions
so
Tour.
this is a real thing. Like Stuart Sink did this, right? Well, that year he won twice. Like these guys who know they're on the verge of just raking it on the Champions Tour start to get their game into shape. 48, 49, and then that's a real thing.
They start swinging for the fences. They're like, well, what do I
What do I
got
have to lose?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to go to the Champions Tour and destroy these old men.
It's kind of like, I'm not saying that it's unfair, but it's a little bit tough that when Zach Johnson's name comes up now, the first thing you think of is not Masters.
What is the first thing
It's
you think
the
of?
Ryder Cup.
Oh, I think of him hitting the ball off the tee marker.
Like 3 times.
Yeah.
He's like one of the only few guys to win at St. Andrews and Augusta.
That's
National.
pretty epic.
The list
He's a Hall of Famer.
Speaking of Champions Tour, real quick before we do another, I want to know where you think Bernhard is finishing this week.
Oh,
He hasn't made the cut in a while. It's really long for him.
Is he gonna make it?
This is a big cut.
Yeah.
96 or 95, whatever. That's a big number. I say no. And I know the results have been good on the senior tour. That doesn't always translate. That's a tough ask.
Okay.
We got Angel.
I hope I'm wrong.
We got Angel this week coming off a
just
senior
won.
tour
Coming
win.
off a
just
win.
won.
Jesus.
I'm interested to see. That's the one question I'm really interested to see tomorrow.
And that's like totally his style, right? Like when he like beat Tiger in at Oakmont, like he like kind of came out of nowhere. Like
yeah, well, he won 2 majors on almost 3, but I'm saying I want to see what Ridley says tomorrow about Cabrera.
If anything.
Yeah. All right. Next decade.
88.
Oh.
88. Evan Beck.
I don't know anything about him.
I do.
Okay.
There's a new Mid-Am sheriff in town.
Oh.
Stuart Hagestad's days might be over. So Stuart Hagestad, not everyone, but people know, I think he played in like 7 or 8 major championships. Played golf at USC, never turned professional, which I do believe Evan Beck was a professional golfer for a little while. One of my spiciest takes that I have is that, and this is, I think, my first time saying this on the record, I have a take that if you turn professional as a golfer, you should never be able to go back to being an amateur.
I admittedly did not know you could.
I didn't know you could
What
either.
do you have to do to
you basically
give back all the money you've ever earned?
So you can't, if you got like a PGA Tour card, even though John Peterson, who did have a PGA Tour card, got his amateur status back.
Okay.
Basically, however much money you make like works against you. So if there's a waiting period. So you apply to the USGA to regain your amateur status. I mean, obviously Patrick Cantlay could never get his. I don't know why that was the first guy that popped in my head, but Patrick Cantlay could not get his amateur status back. They just wouldn't do it. But if you've had an unsuccessful career, you can get your amateur status back, which I don't like.
I know you thought of Patrick Cantlay.
I feel why.
Didn't you just recently say?
He popped into your head because he's a money maker.
Yeah, he's got.
Prince,
he's not getting. So anyways, so Evan Beck, he's 34 years old. He played collegiately at Wake Forest. He's number 15 amateur, so he won the Mid-Am.
I was gonna say, how did he get in?
He beat Hagestad, I believe, in the semis or somewhere along that run, and he's number 15 in the World Amateur Golf Ranking, so he's got a good chance of making the Walker Cup team.
Did he win like 9 and 8 or something? Am I thinking
I don't
of
know.
somebody else?
I'm not sure.
Blowout.
But he was saying he played on Sunday with Michael McDermott, who's won like the Crump Cup, all these like Pine Valley tournaments, and Jeff Knox. So that's just an all-time.
The ultimate marker.
That's crazy. Yeah. I was just thinking, who is the marker this year? Is it Jeff?
No, I think it's this guy Michael McDermott. I think he took over because Jeff Knox aged out a little bit. So yeah,
tough.
Good gig that Evan Beck's got going for himself. He's going to probably play on the Walker Cup, Mid-Am champion. Wow. Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, 72.
72, we have Charles Schwartzel.
Ooh.
That's really low for me. Didn't he finish second last week?
Yes, he's been playing better. There are a lot of past champion live golfers trending.
Phil.
Patrick Reed, Phil, Sergio, Schwartzel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're getting ready for this.
Schwartzel, so we did a video, I did like a rapid fire thing with Bob McIntyre. And I said, who's the best golfer you ever played with? And he said, Charles Schwartzel, 2023 Masters. I think it was 2023. He said, I played with him the first 2 rounds. He was leading after 36 holes, didn't miss a shot. I was like, wow, I was not expecting that answer. It is one of the all-time prettiest golf swings.
What did he finish that week?
I don't know. I think he finished in the top 10. I want to say he finished in the top 10. But yeah, no, I mean,
I just have a gut feeling that like it's going to be a star this year. It's not going to be like some, when he won, it was kind of like a.
No, I think, but realistically, like, what's the line for a great result for Charles Schwartz? Like, if he finishes T42, are we like, well, good?
No, I think
got to be better than that.
Yeah, I mean, he finished second or third or whatever it was in the live event last week. So I think top 20.
Top 20.
Okay. Yeah, that
would be.
I mean, he can do it. He's only 40 years old. I was expecting him to be older.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's not that old.
He's really fit. He was in
fit.
He was in the conversation for. Like prettiest, everyone's Louis Oosthuizen, Adam Scott. Charles Schwartzel was sort of in that mix for a little bit.
I love Louis' swing.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it in a long
Wait,
time.
are you talking about, I didn't know if you were talking about actual looks or.
No.
Because I was like, Louis in that conversation?
No, golf swing.
Okay.
No, Louis.
He's cute.
I heard Adam Scott. Yeah. Okay.
Louis, I do not think is in that
Adam Scott's got it. He's killing 2 birds.
Ludwig, everyone's talking about Ludwig these days.
He's got it all.
I love his swing. If I could swing like that, at that speed.
All right, anyway. Next decade.
Oh man, we were talking too much. I enjoyed that Charles Schwartzel too much.
I like this game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Random player generator.
60 on the nose.
60.
We're getting there now.
Nick Taylor.
Oh,
what an interesting career he's had. So former number 1 amateur in the world at Washington, Animal in college. He's won a lot, and he takes his chances when he gets one. I remember he outdueled, was it Charlie Hoffman at that was when the Waste Management bled into the Super Bowl. And then he beat Nico Echeverria in Hawaii. He's got 5 wins.
I love Nick Taylor.
So he gets a chance, but I feel like he's missed the. Here's a stat for you. He's missed the cut in each of his last 8 major championships.
Yeah. So, which is shocking because, so he kind of got on my radar. I guess it was a couple of years ago in Phoenix. He ended up playing with, it was like Rahm and Scheffler, I swear, on like both rounds on the weekend. So I was walking with them, watching a lot.
Oh, he lost to Scheffler that week. Yeah, he was right there.
But I'm like, this dude won't go away.
Yeah.
He's just hitting every shot. And he had that great year. And then to not make the President's Cup team.
He was heartbroken.
In a year where you
in
are
Canada.
the face of your sport in that country. I'm sure he was. I can't believe Mike Weir even left him off the team. I think he should have. I think he was correct to do so. I could not believe he did it. But he's bounced back now. Now we're getting the good 2025 version of him. I love that. When he gets that putting stroke going, it is so darn good. But you're right. There's like maybe the spotlight's a little too bright.
I think there's when you've missed the cut in 8 majors in a row. I think there's like you make a couple early bogeys and you're like, is this happening
again?
Nine?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is this happening again? But super nice guy. All the Canadians, they all play practice rounds together.
Yeah, they did it again today.
Did they?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was
Corey and Pendrith
and Taylor and Weir.
I'm glad you brought up Corey, Dan, because I missed the show yesterday, and
he's betting on Corey Connors.
I was berated for bringing up Corey Connors when I asked you, Rick, and you picked him.
We talked about this. I
Top
said
10.
I would never pick him to win.
Right, but I think that was the question I was asking.
You said how do people make money on
him?
And I was like, I'll tell you how they make money on top 10s, top 20s.
I love it. I made him. I did like the free like Masters fantasy thing with a couple of my friends,
Nice.
and I
He's your
picked him as
captain?
my
squad member.
Wild card. I think.
Okay.
Squad member. All right, 50s.
55.
55. Brian Harmon. Also quite low.
Ooh.
For him.
See, now, did you do these ranks?
So I did them. I did them last week, and then we moved Harmon up a little bit.
We made a couple adjustments.
But people don't usually win back to back with the Masters.
Angel was 96, and then he won, and we had to move.
We had to move him up. We had to move him up. Yeah. It was an ugly tournament. But he won it.
He won. That was like the 4th worst weekend by a winner in the last handful of years.
Well, he shot 75, didn't he?
Yeah. So he only gained less than 2 strokes to the field on the weekend, which is like almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
He was like begging people to catch him.
Yes,
They just
right.
wouldn't do it.
But because he was bonkers, 66 on Thursday and Friday, he had enough of that lead. But it's very rare to win like that. And I guess you could spray it around Augusta National more than you could spray it around TPC San Antonio. But like, there's no chance he can.
There's no chance. But I do have a weird. He is sort of to me like the lefty Zach Johnson, and it would not surprise me if he just. Because everyone, no one wanted it to happen.
Right.
At Birkdale when he won.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Birkdale? No,
No,
it was Hoy Lake.
Yeah.
No one wanted
I was
him
there.
to win. No one wanted him to win yesterday or on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he won. And I don't know. I feel like if it's nasty weather, it's not gonna be nasty weather though. He needs he needs a mutter week. He's a proper mutter.
He could be your top lefty.
He could be the top lefty, but I think Phil's finishing eighth.
Phil.
I think Phil's finishing eighth.
I like Robert McIntyre. Actually.
Yeah, you like Bobby Mack?
I think the thing I'm learning about Harmon is he's like kind of unshakable. Like he's pretty like plateau.
Yeah, when he gets in the moment, he's just got to get in the moment more often.
Yeah.
Right. But when he's in it, I'm worried about him.
Yeah, he's definitely a dog. All right, 40s.
46.
46, we have Maverick McNeely.
Oh, great one.
Maverick McNeely is unfortunately the poster child for the OWGR being completely.
He's 10th.
I didn't realize he was 10th
in the world, which is
I love
bananas.
He's a phenomenal golfer. He is not the 10th ranked player.
10th in the world.
That shocked me. I heard that yesterday.
He had a good week last week.
Great putter.
Great putter. Got his first win in the fall at the RSM Classic. Almost stole the Genesis at Torrey Pines with a 63. Masters rookie.
I had an encounter with him. I chatted with him in Vegas.
He's a Vegas guy.
He's a Vegas guy. He was. I remember he was healthy. I don't remember when it was, but he said, "I'm excited. I can go full tilt again. This for the first time in a while. I can go full tilt again." And he started going on this run that took him because he missed like a whole year.
Yeah.
With that, he tried to play through the injury. It was really bad, really ugly. Tried to play through it, never worked. Took time off, got healthy. And now, like, he's obviously not the 10th ranked player in the world, but like he might be the 30th ranked player in the world. And he's one of the best putters, and he's getting the rest of that tee to green play in shape. He's pretty dangerous.
He's
Do you
a
think
good
he flew
player.
himself down here?
No, he's too far.
Yeah, he only flies like a little
Yeah.
Cessna or something.
Yeah, it's like a couple 100 miles worth of. But yeah, he's a rookie, which I was surprised about. Masters rookie, and he won 11 times at Stanford. So
he's the guy. So he and Rye, I think, are some of the shorter odds for like top debutantes.
Got it.
Like 7 or 8 to 1 something.
It's not the strongest group of debutantes.
No, but there's a lot of them. But it's not very strong.
All right, 30s.
33.
Nice.
33, we have Lucas Glover. Saw him in the media center today. He was getting the tour of the media center.
TGL star.
You know who I saw in the media center today?
Who?
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, they were.
No
I
way.
almost lost my brain.
That's a childhood like.
You haven't seen
top
him.
five.
He just plays pro-ams all the time.
I will not get starstruck. I don't care. He walked in. I almost fainted.
Do you have the Griffey shoes?
Oh
as a
my
kid?
God, he is my. He is. I mean, I'm like, that's the kid. Like the kid's
kid.
here. Junior's here. Like I almost lost.
Yeah.
The only baseball player that I saw playing golf I got more excited about recently was Gary Sheffield.
That's good too.
Because he's got had
This
best
one?
batting stance.
Yeah.
No.
T3 at the Players, T8 at Valspar. Broomstick has resurrected his career,
Yes.
but no top 10 finishes in majors since 2009.
Yeah, because he's a tree line specialist, right? Short and straight off the tee, courses where driving accuracy matters. Doesn't matter here. And then the Broomstick definitely has resurrected him, but it's not every single week.
Yeah.
But he will have weeks where he picks up 5 strokes putting, and he wins those weeks.
Yeah, this
will win.
I think it was Scott Fawcett was saying on that lag putting is super, super important this week. Speed control because of all the slopes, and I'm not sure.
The Broomstick guys tend to say that's the hardest part.
It's the hardest part. It's the longest lever. I think it's really good in inside 10 feet, sort of keeping everything steady. But I
started online.
You started online. He's got the lab. I just think
I feel like it's something you've seen Tiger do in his wins really well. Like he knows exactly when he just needs to lag it, make par.
So the other thing is that Lucas Glover is like a very sticky course guy. Like he plays well at courses he plays well at, and he plays bad at courses he plays bad at, and he rarely does that change.
Okay, interesting. All right, 20s.
Right on the number, 20.
20, we have Min-Woo Lee.
Oh, what an electric fact.
Talk to me about Min-Woo Lee.
Could
What
you
do you
imagine if it was like Minwoo and Rory?
I think Min-Woo's got massive.
Last time we
massive
talked to him,
star
he said,
potential.
I'll see you at the big dance.
Yeah, we might have talked about this a little bit too.
Another Vegas guy.
Yep, another Vegas guy. He is. I'm gonna be very careful here. I don't think he's Scotty Scheffler. I don't think he's the number 1 player in the world, but he has the skill set baseline to be like a top 5 player in the world.
So what do you mean by that?
Unbelievable ceilings, especially with the driver, which gives him a great baseline. His short game is
sick,
unbelievable.
Yeah,
all the shots there. The one thing that he has struggled with in his career is the approach play, and he's starting to get better at that. If he were to ever figure that out, this is what Sam Burns did. Sam Burns a couple of years ago went from like the 100th best player in the world, figured out how to hit his irons, and started rattling off those victories and got up to like in the top 20 in the world. And Minwoo is better than that. If he figures that part of his game out, it is scary, dangerous. He could be like a legit
Tough place
top
to
player.
work on that, though. You know,
And and it's going to take time. And he's what, 25 or 26 years old, something like that.
He's 26.
Yeah, he is like that skill set is unbelievable.
There's something about his driver, the way he hits it. I mean, he's got the distance and the way he moves the ball. It's like Bubba-esque.
I'll tell you a story.
It's a flat cut. So I did a caddy series with him. We're at caddy for him for 9 holes, and it's a flat cut, which is a shot that didn't really exist 10 or 15 years ago because the ball spun more. I like him this week because he's still prone to like a massive miss with the driver. Like we saw it on whatever 16 or when he won.
16, yeah.
He hit it like off the planet into the water, but. I think you can get away with that here. You're gonna be in the pine straw.
The Minwoo the moment for me was at in Rochester, Oak Hill.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
In Rochester, he was in the gallery left on like 3 or 4, whatever that long par 5 is on the edge of the property, and I was standing right there, and he had to hit this window from behind a tree, like under one tree, over another, and when he hit the ground shook, and we all felt it, and everyone looked at each other like, "What the hell was that?" I've never felt that before. It was unbelievable, and he is just the way that he contorts himself to get.
He's
the
got
power
an
out of
interesting
that
swing.
thing.
He holds the angle so long. It's like it's very trappy, and it's so much ball speed. It's not the most efficient strike. I remember Barath made that video about talking about how Scotty was hitting it basically the same distance as him, despite him having like way more ball speed.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, let's move into the 10 to 20.
All right, number 12.
Oh, that's gonna be a star. Wait, let me guess. Who you would have ranked number 12?
Yeah, I love this.
What do I think about Dan's ability to rank golfers?
I just do it subjectively. I just throw things at the wall.
I think you would have said this is Justin Thomas.
Russell Henley.
Oh, where's Justin Thomas?
Justin Thomas is number 7.
Oh, okay.
And
we might get him. Don't. We might get to him.
Okay, Russell Henley, dog.
Unbelievable dog.
Dog.
Yeah.
Georgia Bulldog. Lives in Columbus, Georgia, I believe.
Yep.
Won the biggest event of his career. Made his Team USA debut last year, and he's like he's one of those guys where his peers have deep respect for him.
Huge.
And that says something.
I just like his disposition generally. He's got a good vibe.
Yeah, but that's all facade. He is like
really?
freaking out underneath. I think.
You
Yeah,
think so?
he's close with the Immelmans, and I'm close with Mark. I think that's a facade, but that's okay. If you can fake it,
Yeah.
that's okay too. Unbelievable ball striker. His record around here is pretty darn good.
Pretty damn good. He finished 4th one year, I think. He's 7th on tour in strokes gained overall. He's in the positive in all 6 key strokes gained categories.
Yeah, very well rounded. Doesn't make a lot of bogeys. The other thing is he's now using. I saw him with it today. He's using like a mallet as opposed. I always think of him with that blade that he can roll, and it looks really good off the club face. He's very, very dangerous.
Yeah, he's sneaky. I like his chances to be at the Ryder Cup. You think he's gonna make the team?
Oh God, the U.S. is so stacked. I think he should be on the team. I think he's such a glue guy. You could play with anybody.
Yeah,
I think he's the perfect. A captain would love to have Russell.
Yeah, he's just easygoing, solid golfer, good for alternate shot.
Everybody wants to play with him.
Yeah, everybody wants to play with him.
Do we get? Does Phil end up getting a Ryder Cup assistant captaincy as this
I don't
all
think
starts
so.
to?
No. It's getting late.
I
isn't
think
it?
I think even if they were to come back together tomorrow, I think the man who burned it all down is sorry. You're just gonna have to.
Right, and like Tiger's gonna get a captaincy, so I don't think he's gonna be one of Tiger's assistants.
Man, Phil's press has been so energetic and fun lately. Did you see with him and George Bryan?
Yes,
yesterday.
we just at the CVS.
Was that the one right across the street?
Right here.
Did you see that?
No. Well,
He lost a bet with him, and he had to stand out there all day. Was it?
I don't know if.
I said it was Wesley. I think it was Wesley, wasn't it? Wesley?
Oh, it was
What did you
Wesley.
say?
It wasn't
Oh, it was
George.
Wesley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, it was
sorry,
Thing I got filled.
guys.
All right, we're gonna do 5 to 10 and then 1 to 5. So give me
Great.
one between.
Okay, I was gonna make an executive decision. And
5 to 10.
all right, let's go.
7. I bet it's Justin Thomas.
It says 10.
10. Xander Schauffele.
Oh,
Love it.
That's dirty, Dan.
Is it? I mean, what's his best finish this year?
It's like the 3rd best player in the world.
By
He's been hurt.
He has been hurt.
You know, is the injury a? I mean, okay, that's a good question. Like, is the injury a negative? Is that a knock against?
I think
or
it's
is he healthy.
I think it's a knock. I mean, the way I won't. Maybe I need to get it out of my head. But when he came back at Bay Hill and he said. He was like, on the first hole, I hit a ball, and then I dropped a ball in the rough, and I told Austin that if this didn't go well, I was just going to go home. It doesn't exactly inspire confidence. And then, 75, 81 over the weekend at the Players. It was much better at the Valspar. He finished 12th.
Yeah.
But it's not like you think he's just snap back into it, major championship winning form again.
Yeah. Listen, you're almost. I know this year's big
it'd be 3 of he would have won 3 of the last 4 majors if he wins.
Yeah. I mean. He has. Think about if we remove last year, how many he contended in, or how many he was close in. That if 1 or 2 go his, he could be like very easily a 4-time major.
You think about 2021 Masters too.
Yeah.
If he gets the right number or the wind doesn't pick up on 16,
yes.
he wins
oh my God,
the Masters.
The second,
probably.
the second he gets in the moment, he hits in the water on 16. Right.
That was
for, like, 1
devastating.
second,
I also had money on him that week. That
so
was
you
terrible.
remember it vividly.
Remember it vividly. Yeah.
The other thing is, okay, so he debuted. His first major was 2018 Masters. He lost strokes to the field that week. Since then, he has lost strokes in a major 1 other time.
Yeah.
Proper
golfer.
Because you get, I mean, you get, I don't want to say 4 guaranteed rounds. There's obviously cuts at these, but like,
he's not missing the cut.
Right. So when you give these guys 4 guaranteed rounds, the cream rises to the top. He does not make huge mistakes. The Valspar thing is crazy. If he hits the ball anything like he did at Valspar, it's going to be great. And there's a lot of room for improvement with the driver. There's a lot of room for improvement with the putter this year. Like, Xander is.
I wonder if he's not flying under the radar in the perfect slot. We're all talking about Scotty. We're talking about Rory. We're talking about the live guys coming over.
You would be 0% surprised if he was in the final.
I would not be surprised at all. So some stats to support what you were saying. 6 top 10s in majors in his last 8 starts. 11 straight major finishes of T18 or better. 11 straight.
That's not. But that doesn't happen by accident.
That's not normal. That is not normal.
And it's not normal.
No.
All right. When we end this, I'll move him down a little bit.
Come on.
The ranking is locked.
We're gonna do 4 for this 1 to 5, and then I want you to talk about your number 1.
Okay. 4 is John Rahm. I want your take on John Rahm right now.
I would probably say quite bullish, more bullish than most. What he's doing on Live is the exact same thing he was doing on the PGA.
Top 10 every week.
Top 10 every week. The advanced metrics are phenomenal. He's picking up a stroke per round off the tee. I understand those guys are worse. They are definitely worse, but it is the exact same stat profile. If I just scrambled up all his stat profiles and tournament results, you would not be able to tell which ones were which. He has not won as much as he should over there, but this is the perfect place where the tee to green guys separate themselves. I think there was a huge change You were here last year.
Yeah.
He was like sad.
He talked about it today. He said that, he was the defending champion and he had just gone to live and there was just like a lot going on.
I had never seen. He looked sad.
Yeah.
I had never seen that before. As the majors went on, you could tell he was more comfortable in his own skin. His results got better. I think he's in a completely different mind space this time around. I think John Rahm is like cooking.
He's top 10 in every tournament. If he had a fourth round every one of those tournaments, who knows?
He'd have 10 wins.
He probably would.
Yeah.
He probably would. It's
Yeah.
like what you were saying earlier about like the cream rises.
You need
to the
4
crowd.
4 guaranteed rounds. Like does
Yeah,
not
like I
have.
feel like Dustin Johnson's has like 2 rounds and then he just drops and it's almost saved by the bell.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
because
I
he's
mean?
going in the wrong direction.
He's going in the wrong direction, and it's like he finished 25th this week. If there was
Stop
one
the
round,
count,
yes,
right?
literally he gets stopped the counted.
We were watching both yesterday or Sunday, and it was the first live tournament I've watched since like the very beginning, and I looked up seeing putting. I'm like, man, I didn't realize how much I missed just like watching John Rahm play golf.
He's so
it's kinda-
good.
He's electric.
He's so good.
He's electric. All right, you want me to go
Uno,
to number 1?
yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to defend. It's Ludwig. The reason
This
being,
is tough to defend.
The reason being, I picked him at the beginning of the year, and what is a prediction if you come off?
A man of principle. I
You know what I
respect it.
mean?
Yeah.
He first back-to-back miscuts of his career.
Well, okay. So that being said, if 1 is nothing and 10 is like 5 siren alarm, like where are you at?
He
on the
missed it by
panic-
1 both
Where are
times.
you at on the panic meter?
4.
Oh.
I wasn't in a horrible spot after the Players, but missing the cut of Valero.
What if he's rope-a-doping us?
No, he's not.
missing the cut of
The
Valero.
robot rope-a-dope.
The robot
That's the
rope-a-dope.
thing about playing the week before. It's like it's great if you get like 4 rounds in, but if you miss the cut, then it's like,
Yeah, that's in your brain.
Well, he gets here early then.
yeah, he gets
Could argue, right? I could spin that.
got
It
it
seems like
early.
he's been having a good time. We're rocking his new green Adidas shirt.
Yeah,
and
what do you
having
think
fun.
of the new original stuff?
I like it a lot. I like that they kind of like went into the archive. Not a lot of brands have an archive as rich as that one. And if you do, if you're an Adidas, a
Use
Nike,
it.
a Ralph Lauren, yeah, use it. You got
Yeah.
it. Don't get me started on
I'm a little bit worried about the iron play.
Yeah.
These guys these days, it didn't used to be this way. These guys used to have to play them literally in competitive reps, play themselves back into it. We see much more now the quick snapback, especially from the top guys.
Yeah.
So I don't care as much about that type of stuff because they are literally one.
But it's also like, am I really gonna pick? Am I gonna put Scotty number? That's the thing with these lists is it's like, yeah, technically, like Scotty is most likely to win the tournament. But if Scotty wins, then and I picked the number 1. It's like, okay,
You get a better rush when it's somebody that
oh,
like
100%.
other people
I am
didn't
like
pick.
team
Rick,
Ludwig
you know about
this year.
this.
I am absolutely.
Yeah,
team
you
Ludwig.
game the system a little bit. I get it. But listen, the Ludwig thing is interesting. Again, we talk in the same way as Xander, 0% surprised if he's in it.
Yeah.
I don't think you will be that deep into it, but I would love, how sick would that be? Just like Ludwig taking the mantle, wins it. Well, this is what, his 5th major?
Yeah. Yeah, because the Masters was his first last year.
it'd
It'd
be
be really,
sick.
yeah, he was so close last year.
It'd be
It's
sick.
11.
There'd be a
11
lot of
win.
hyperbole around him if he.
Oh,
won this week, I think.
we would be crowning him the number 1 player.
Well, I mean, you said in your ranking, you're like, this guy's gonna win multiple majors.
I believe that.
He's might be the most likely next number 1.
You saying to break
well,
Scotty?
Yeah, well, Scotty's gonna hold it for a while.
Rory's, I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah,
Rory's cooking. How do you feel about Rory this week? We didn't get to him. I want to talk about him.
Just like separating the mind stuff, Rory is objectively entering this week in the best form he's probably ever entered the Masters. I think he's doing it in ways that we haven't seen him do it
So
before.
he's improved the wedge play a lot, right?
Yes. And stuff that doesn't even show up on the stat sheet, like it looks different. It looks better. He's missing in better spots. That is quantifiable. Scotty never misses in a bad spot. Rory does a lot.
Yeah, I feel like there's not the same like loopy long left wedge shots that there used
Correct.
to be. It
The
seems-
long left wedge.
Oh, the long left wedge after a 350-yard drive, a
Yes.
120-yard wedge into the back left bunker. You're like, how is that even possible? It's like a softer arm swing. He
Yep.
seems to be going with some more off-speed stuff. I just think back to the shot he hit to win the Players Championship. Little, back foot. Was it 9-iron or 8-iron? 9-iron.
Yeah.
Like that's he's got the finesse dialed in. I want some big names at the top of the leaderboard. I know that's
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Captain Obvious, but I miss Tiger. I miss Tiger.
I don't know, man. I felt like I was watching just like
You didn't like it?
Like it was like not like at a funeral, but like it's a tough watch. It's a
Yeah,
tough watch.
it's a
It's been a tough
tough
watch for a long time.
Even when
and like, what am I celebrating? The greatest golfer of all time making the cut.
Yeah, he makes a cut and then he like literally limps to
Yeah.
limps to the finish.
I don't
but-
like it.
He's back in love. Maybe that like.
Well, he's asking for privacy, Ben.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Please,
Sorry,
why
I
would you
talked
bring that
about
up?
it.
Post of the year. That is the post of the year.
He's got to get his pit money.
Smiling through it all.
That's getting me. I'm getting pretty excited for this week.
I'm stoked.
I'm stoked.
I'm stoked.
Someone's gonna do it, man. Someone's gonna win the tournament.
Somebody's going to put the green jacket on. It's going to be sick. It's going to be in history.
That's how it works. Someone is gonna win this.
Someone
tournament.
will slip it on, and it will be not tailored correctly. IMO.
Yeah, that bothers you.
It really does. They're always so big. Like,
You
get the shoulders
think they
right.
would have enough in stock?
Yeah, or a tailor that can do quick work back. Some, Enzo back there. Get him some Italian guy stitching.
They can remove a tree in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
They can't tailor a jacket.
Chad told me a story. He went last year. He parked by the media center underneath like a pink tree, and when he came back to get his car, that tree was gone. And he was like, and it looked like it was never there. And then he was out on the course, and he saw it on like the 6th hole, like off the fairway. And
They
he's
moved
like,
it.
The tree.
That's
They moved it on the
wild.
course.
They moved. That's a big thing on golf courses. They move trees.
Moving trees around.
Yeah, it feels like it would be a hard thing to do.
The other thing that before we go, when people drop like cigarettes and cigars out there, do you ever see like people like swing by?
That's crazy.
I watched
That's crazy.
I watched a wrapper fall out of a woman's bag, and it was not on the ground for more than 3 seconds before a guy came out of nowhere and snatched up with.
They have like a floor is lava policy. It's like get it off of there.
unbelievable.
People drop cigarettes out there.
That should be criminal.
A lot of guys ripping dukes out
No,
there.
I mean I'm not saying that they shouldn't be smoking them, but it's hallowed grounds. Have some respect.
They have receptacles.
Yeah.
Not that I know, but
I feel like smoking a cigar at Augusta National is a pretty peak thing to do.
yeah.
Anyways, all right, that was fun. That was really fun.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Rick.
I'm so
thanks
stoked.
for coming.
Yeah,
We were gonna have Justin Hastings, but I just got word he's still grinding out on the course.
So don't bet on him.
An amateur.
we'll
Yeah.
check his
Low am. I don't know.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, that's it. That's our show. We'll see you. I think we're going to come again on Thursday after the first round. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.